Welcome to a deep dive
Oh, yeah?
into the story of Marvel Comics,
Okay.
a company that's faced more dramatic twists and turns than
Right.
even their most fantastical characters.
Yeah.
We'll explore how they clawed their way from scrappy beginnings
Right from the bottom.
to the top of the pop culture mountain.
Top.
It's a
It's
quite
like
a story.
wild ride.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's really intriguing, I think, is their knack for turning setbacks into springboards for innovation.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's like a real-life superhero origin story of resilience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we've got a stack of fascinating sources today,
Mhm.
including Marvel Comics, the epic origin story of a pop culture titan.
Oh, wow.
And you wouldn't believe some
Yeah.
of the early surprises.
Okay.
For instance, they actually launched back in 1939
Wow.
as timely publications.
Timely publications. Okay.
Can you imagine a world where Marvel was just another face in the pulp fiction crowd?
It's fascinating to think about that
Right.
alternate timeline.
Yeah.
They jumped onto the superhero trend
Oh, yeah, they did.
pretty early,
Mm.
driven by Superman's success.
Right.
Their Marvel Comics, #1, even introduced characters like
Yeah.
the original Human Torch,
Oh, wow.
who, believe it or not,
Mm-hmm.
was an android.
An android.
Yeah.
Not quite the flaming hothead we know today.
Yeah.
They really weren't afraid to experiment, were they?
None at all.
Yeah.
They also had Namor, the Submariner,
Right.
a complex anti-hero who actually predates Aquaman.
Wow.
Talk about shaking things up.
Yeah.
And then, of course,
Mhm.
came Captain America punching Nazis in the face
Oh, yeah.
well before the U.S. entered World War II.
Yeah, talk about a patriotic power move.
Oh, yeah.
But,
Ah.
as you might expect,
Mhm.
things weren't always so heroic.
Right.
The post-war period saw a steep drop in superhero popularity.
Hmm.
How did Timely, by then rebranded as Atlas Comics, manage to survive that shift?
By embracing adaptability,
Okay.
they delved into westerns,
Wow.
horror romance,
Oh, really?
you name it.
Oh.
Imagine Captain America trading his shield for a cowboy hat.
That's a wild image.
It's a testament to their willingness to try new things,
Yeah.
a trait that would define their future successes.
Absolutely. And it also makes you wonder how much their creativity was shaped
Yeah.
by the limitations of the time.
Mm-hmm.
They had to navigate the infamous
Right.
Comics Code Authority in the 50s,
Yeah.
a period of intense scrutiny and censorship.
Absolutely. The Comics Code, heavily restricted.
Right.
What could be depicted?
Yeah.
Forcing creators to find ingenious ways to tell compelling stories.
Oh, for sure.
Within those boundaries.
Mhm.
It's almost as if the constraint fueled their imagination,
That's a good point, yeah.
you know?
So then comes the 1960s,
Okay.
the era that really cemented Marvel's legacy.
Mm-hmm.
This is where Stan Lee, Jack Kirby,
Yes.
and Steve Ditko come into play, right?
Okay. This dynamic trio revolutionized the industry with what became known as the Marvel method,
Okay.
a collaborative approach that injected a raw,
Mm.
almost improvisational energy into their comics.
I've always been fascinated by that method. How exactly did it work?
Imagine a jam session
Okay.
where Stan Lee provides a basic story outline,
Uh-huh.
then lets the artists like Kirby or Ditko
Mm-hmm.
run wild with their visual interpretations.
Wow.
Finally, Lee would add dialogue based on the completed artwork.
Okay.
This free-flowing exchange resulted in some of the most dynamic and unexpected storytelling
Wow.
the industry had ever seen.
No wonder their characters felt so fresh and relatable.
Right.
It really does feel like a conversation
Yeah.
unfolding on the page.
Yeah.
And speaking of relatable,
Okay.
this is when they introduced the Fantastic Four,
Mm-hmm.
a superhero team that dared to be flawed
Yes.
and, well, human.
This was a stark contrast to the godlike, often flawless heroes
Oh, yeah.
of the time. The Fantastic Four bickered.
Yeah.
They made mistakes.
Mm,
They struggled with real-world problems.
for sure.
This grounded approach resonated with readers,
Yeah.
making them feel like they, too, could be part of this extraordinary world.
It's like they tapped into something universal
Mm.
about the human experience.
Yeah.
This idea that even with superpowers,
Yeah.
life can be messy and unpredictable.
Life is messy.
Yeah.
And, of course, this was just the beginning.
Yeah, this is where it gets good.
Absolutely.
So go on.
This era saw the birth of iconic characters like Spider-Man,
Oh, yeah.
Hulk,
Mm-hmm.
Iron Man, Thor.
Yeah.
The list goes on.
It's unbelievable.
What's remarkable is how each hero tackled complex themes.
Right.
Responsibility, social justice, inner turmoil.
Oh, yeah.
They weren't just punching villains.
Yep.
They were grappling with real-world issues
Exactly.
that resonated with readers on a deeper level.
Yeah. It's hard to imagine the landscape of comics.
Right.
Even pop culture as a whole.
Mm.
Yeah.
Without the impact of this creative explosion.
Imagine a world where Fantastic Four #1 had flopped.
Oh, wow.
DC Comics might have reigned supreme.
Yeah.
And the cinematic universe we know today would be a vastly different landscape.
Oh, gosh.
We might be drowning in a sea of Batman.
Okay. That's a chilling thought.
Yeah.
But this incredible success story
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't last forever.
No.
They faced some pretty major hurdles
Right.
in the decades that followed.
Yeah.
It's pretty remarkable how things changed.
It is, yeah.
So let's dive into that next.
Okay.
Right.
Sounds good. That's right. The 80s and 90s were a real roller coaster.
Yeah.
For Marvel.
It's almost hard to believe that the company that gave us the Avengers
I know.
could face such dire straits. What exactly went wrong?
Well, a combination of factors
Okay.
contributed to their struggles.
Mm-hmm.
They made some questionable business deals.
Oh, really?
The comic book market became oversaturated.
And their attempts to break into Hollywood were,
Right.
to put it mildly,
Yeah.
less than successful.
I'm guessing you're talking about Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
That film definitely didn't become the box office sensation they were hoping for.
No, it did not.
It's a...
Howard the Duck really
Yeah.
symbolizes the missteps of that era.
Right.
What was intended to be their grand entrance into Hollywood
Yeah.
became a cautionary tale.
It's amazing that they were able to recover from that,
I know.
eventually reaching the heights of the MCU.
Right.
It's a
A remarkable comeback story.
backstory.
But before we get there,
Okay.
let's talk about one of the most shocking decisions of this period.
Okay.
The attempt to sell Spider-Man
Yeah.
to DC Comics.
It sounds unbelievable, right?
It does.
But in the 80s, they actually approached DC with that very proposition.
Wow.
It's a testament to how desperate the situation had become.
I bet DC is still kicking themselves
Yeah.
for turning that offer down.
But what led them to consider selling off their flagship character in the first place?
As I mentioned, a perfect storm of unfortunate circumstances had converged.
Uh-huh.
They were struggling to keep up with a changing market,
Mm-hmm.
and their film ventures were failing spectacularly.
Right.
It was a recipe for financial disaster.
So by 1996,
Yes.
years of these missteps and a shrinking comic book market
Right.
culminated in a truly shocking event.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel filed for bankruptcy.
It was a dark time
Wow.
for the company.
Yeah.
In a last-ditch effort to stay afloat,
Right.
they were forced to sell off the film rights
Oh, wow.
to many of their most beloved characters.
So, like, who are we talking here?
Spider-Man went to Sony,
Okay.
X-Men and the Fantastic Four to Fox.
Wow.
The dream of a cohesive cinematic universe
Yeah.
seemed to shatter.
So how did they manage to turn things around?
It's
How did they go from the brink of collapse
it's pretty
into becoming the pop culture juggernaut they are today?
Their resurgence is a fascinating story of calculated risks,
Okay.
innovative thinking,
Mm-hmm.
and a bit of good timing.
Okay.
In 2008, they decided to gamble on a character
Okay.
who at the time wasn't exactly a household name,
All right.
Iron Man.
That's interesting why Iron Man, he
Yeah.
wasn't as popular as Spider-Man or the X-Men.
Right.
It seems like a risky choice.
It was a bold move, absolutely.
Yeah.
But they had an ace up their sleeve,
Okay, what's that?
Robert Downey Jr.
RDJ.
Yeah,
It's hard to imagine anyone else embodying Tony Stark's
I know, right?
wit and complexity the way he did.
He was perfect.
He truly brought that character to life.
Yeah, he was a perfect casting choice.
Mm-hmm.
And with Iron Man, they introduced something groundbreaking.
Okay.
The concept of an interconnected cinematic universe. Something that had never been attempted on this scale before.
And the rest, as they say, is history.
Right.
Iron Man was a smash hit.
Huge.
And the MCU took off with incredible momentum.
Took the world by storm.
Yeah. They carefully crafted a tapestry of interconnected stories,
Yeah.
weaving individual hero narratives into a grand overarching saga.
It was brilliant.
Yeah.
It was a brilliant strategy, building anticipation with each film,
Right.
drawing audiences deeper into this expanding world.
Mm-hmm.
And the box office results speak for themselves.
For sure.
The culmination of this interconnected storytelling,
Right.
Endgame,
Oh, yeah.
became a global phenomenon, shattering box office records,
Unbelievable.
and solidifying the MCU's place in cinematic history.
It really is amazing. But the story doesn't end there.
It does not.
In 2009, another unexpected turn of events occurred.
Uh-huh.
The Disney acquisition.
Yes.
Mickey Mouse and Iron Man. Who could have predicted that?
It seemed like an odd pairing at first.
It did.
But it turned out to be a strategic masterstroke.
Okay.
Disney's resources and marketing prowess
provided
Marvel with the fuel they needed to become a global powerhouse.
It's remarkable how they transformed from an underdog-facing financial ruin to a dominant force in the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
And they haven't slowed down since.
No, they haven't.
The MCU continues to expand with new films, TV shows, even theme park attractions.
That's right.
It's a true empire built on the foundation of superhero storytelling.
It speaks to the enduring power of these characters and the universal themes they embody.
Yeah.
Their stories resonate with audiences of all ages and backgrounds.
It's true.
It really is.
It's a pretty wild ride.
It is.
When you think about it.
Yeah.
From near bankruptcy to box office domination.
It's really
Marvel's journey has been anything but predictable.
a testament to their resilience.
Yeah.
And their ability to adapt to a constantly evolving landscape.
Right.
But I think even more than that,
Okay.
their success lies in the power of their storytelling.
Right.
They tap into these universal themes of heroism, hope, and the struggle against adversity.
For sure.
You know, these are stories that resonate with us
Right.
on a deep, almost primal level.
It makes you wonder if their own chaotic history actually fueled that ability
Oh, that's interesting.
to connect with audiences.
Yeah.
They face so many setbacks, so many near-death experiences that they understand the concept of struggle in a way that few other companies do.
That's a fascinating point.
Yeah.
It's almost as if those challenges force them
Yeah.
to dig deeper, to find new ways to connect with audiences
Right.
and tell stories that resonated on a more profound level.
So looking back at this incredible journey, what can we, the non-superpowered folks, learn from Marvel's story?
I think the biggest takeaway is the importance of resilience. Marvel faced countless obstacles,
Right.
moments where giving up seemed like the only option.
Yeah.
But they never lost sight of their core values:
Yeah.
creativity, innovation, and a commitment to storytelling.
Absolutely.
They adapted,
Right.
they took risks, and they ultimately emerged stronger than ever before.
It's a reminder that failure isn't the end.
Yeah,
It's just a detour on the path to success.
that's right.
I mean, look at Howard the Duck.
Oh, yeah,
That could have been the final nail in the coffin.
right.
But instead, they used it as a learning experience,
Yeah.
a chance to course correct and come back with something even better.
And that's a valuable lesson for all of us.
Right?
You know, it's easy to get discouraged when we face setbacks,
Yeah, for sure.
but it's in those moments that we have the opportunity to learn to grow and to come back stronger.
Yeah, it's like that saying, it's not about how many times you fall down.
Right.
It's about how many times you get back up.
Exactly.
Marvel's story is a perfect example of that.
Absolutely.
And if their chaotic journey ultimately led to the creation of something as groundbreaking and beloved as the MCU,
Right.
it makes you wonder what seemingly bad situations in our own lives might hold the potential for future triumphs.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
What might seem like a setback today
Yeah.
could be the catalyst for something extraordinary tomorrow.
That's a great point to end on.
Yeah.
So the next time you're facing a challenge, remember the story of Marvel Comics?
Yeah.
They turned adversity into opportunity.
That's right.
And so can you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the fascinating world
It's been a pleasure.
of Marvel Comics.
Yes.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and never underestimate the power of your own story.